I met General Patton because he called in for help to hit a particular town one evening. Well, then we took off about 2 in the morning. In the meantime, the Germans pulled out and he had moved in. But once we were off the ground, there was no communication with anybody. Well, there was an oil refinery there, and he wanted that oil for his tanks. And we went in about 10 o'clock and hit that refinery. Well, then 2 days later, he was back at our airfield. I wanted to know who led that raid on that airfield that hit his oil. And so the colonel said, he's sitting right there. So I got to meet. I didn't say anything, but he said a lot. But
you got blamed for it?
Well, the colonel told me, said, General, now you called in about 8 o'clock last night. We took off at 2 o'clock. We had no idea the Germans pulled out. And of course, Patton kept saying, well, I radioed you. But the colonel said, but we have no communication with them once they get off the ground because the Germans are listening in, and we can't say, you know, go hit this target or that target. And we're sorry it happened, but that's the way it is. So that was, he tried to correct that. Down in Italy, there 2 or 3 Palesti oil fields was another one that we hit that Germans had pulled out. But you don't know it, you don't know it. And,
so, what did you met General Patton and he was all mad at you?
Yes, he was. He was.
At you personally?
Yes, because I led that raid.
Really?
And but
what did he say?
Oh, he said everything in the book. But the colonel had told me, he said, he wants to know who led it, and you did. But he said, why don't you just keep your mouth shut and let me do all the talking? I said, that's fine with me. But I don't know. Patton left, but he wasn't satisfied. But
what did you tell him?
I didn't tell him anything, because Colonel told me to keep my mouth shut and let him do the talking. And
okay, so, but I mean, the colonel was there with you?
Yeah, he was with me.
What was the name of the colonel? You remember?
Oh, gosh. No, I don't.
He was an Air Force colonel, though?
Yeah, he was an Air Force colonel. He was our operations officer.
And was this still in Ipswich?
Yeah.
General Patton came all the way to Ipswich?
Yes, he did. Of course, he had his own plane.
Oh, yeah.
And but he was just ready to move into this refinery. Of course, you know, he had a bunch of tanks, and he could use that oil and gas and so forth. And about the time he was ready to move in, about 10 o'clock in the morning, well, then we hit it. And
so did he just come in and start yelling at you too? And
yeah, he
got fed up and left?
Yeah. After he said his say, well, he left in a huff, but he left. And the colonel said, Dooley, it wasn't your fault. You did what you were supposed to do.